So, what is it like to be a zombie? I'll save you the effort of asking because we both know that's what you're thinking, right? Or more to the point, what is the best part of being a zombie? Well, I'll tell you one thing. It's not the loss of dexterity. I really only have 2 fingers capable of holding down the record button, so this will be a significant labor of my time. However, in a fortuitous twist of fate for you, dear listener, time is something I suddenly seem to have a lot of. My schedule has opened up considerably, what with the apocalypse and all, and I no longer find myself monitoring the clock and placing any importance on its significance in the progress of my day. The person who said, "I have all the time in the world," had no idea what that truly meant. While I digress, I feel it's only fair to inform you that leaving a point open-ended or letting a train of thought never reach the station will probably be a considerable theme throughout my narrative. Since this wasn't really an issue when I was, let's say, alive, I can only surmise that this may be due in some part to the fact that my brain is beginning to rot in my skull. I do my best to keep my head cool in regards to temperature, but there's only so much a guy can do these days. No power means no air-conditioned duplex. No air-conditioned duplex means a cool creek can do in a pinch. Everything has a fine line though. Everything. Even in a cool creek, one has to keep a close eye. The second you see a bit of hair or a chunk of flesh go merrily, merrily, merrily down the stream, you gotta get the hell out. So what were we talking? Oh yeah, the best part. Well, let's see. There's actually more to consider than you might think. Is it the general sense of camaraderie and sharing of resources in the zombie community? Perhaps it's the ability to rediscover the real world after being held so tightly in a virtual one for so long. You probably have no idea how nice it is to just unplug your intelligence and free yourself from the thoughts that imprison you. Except for the hunger of brains, of course. Is it the freedom of schedule and the opportunity to finally discover this great country? The cardio is fantastic, and if you hook up with the right horde, you'd be amazed how entertaining a long road trip can be. Plus, I probably don't need to tell you, as I'm sure it goes without saying, but the women, oh man, the ladies of the horde are aplenty, and as dirty as I'm sure you would imagine them to be. While it's true that the dirt is literal, plenty of mud, blood, fecal matter, and whatnot in the horde, the girls can be freaks as well. Zombie chicks are the best. Imagine really hot goth chicks, hell-bent on getting some meat. Now imagine them in a significant state of decay, writhing and fighting to eat the living. Granted, it's not ideal, but it's easier to make work than you might think. But even the constant party atmosphere isn't the best part about being a zombie. It's the fact that I'll never have to worry about buying another piece of useless crap again for the rest of my undead life. I will never again have to walk into a Walmart or a Target for milk and bread and walk out with a shower curtain, garden hose, pasta strainer and a Snuggie. I will never again need to walk into a post office for stamps to mail my rent and utilities to the only companies left who don't believe in electronic payments. If I do ever find the need to enter a post office again, it would only be because a young mother and her 8-year-old daughter had barricaded themselves inside and were making their last stand with their golden retriever called Layla, who was barking incessantly over their terrified sobs. Just as a hypothetical, of course. That is the best part. You have not tasted true freedom, my friend, until you're at the point in your life where you don't have to worry about the free market grind. You know what thoughts I never have? Did I grab my wallet? Do I have my credit card? Do I need to stop for petrol? Do I want to buy Aerosmith's new album or Cool Modi? If I stop at a Blockbuster, which VHS cassette should I rent? What aerosol hairspray should I get? I guess I should mention that I died in 1987. Do I need this or do I need that? Do I have enough of product A or product B to get me through the night? Honestly, the only product I really think about at all is, well, tasty brains. But if we are being truthful, then I have to admit that's really only an indulgence as well. I'm not eating out of necessity, and you really don't want to know where the things that I do eat end up. Let's just say, smooth running bowels aren't really synonymous with my condition. Indulgence might not be the right word for the brains. I don't need them in the physical sense, but the urge can be so strong sometimes that addiction might be a better fitting glove. I was actually really embarrassed by the compulsion at first. I thought it was my own personal failure and kept it very close to my vest. I called them my private delicacies, not wanting to give away the true nature of my revolting cravings. Turns out the symptom was more widespread than I had imagined. So widespread, in fact, that there's actually a bit of competition for my delicacies. If I'm being perfectly blunt, some of these fools are really starting to aggravate me. You put in a good hard day's work, tracking and stalking a victim, and the second you get to the good stuff, you're surrounded by a crowd of bums trying to wrestle in on your action. I will beat a fool for coming after my goodies. I will tear their arms off and mush them into a pile. I will tear my own arm off and mush them. I'm a bit of a workaholic. Sorry, that's not true. It's more of a hobby that I'm greatly invested in. A hobby that I find myself singularly focused on with laser intensity. If you must put yourself in my shoes, then think about how much time you spend looking up adult material, and you should be able to equate. I'm aware that I have a problem, but the one thing the zombie community is painfully short on is any type of outreach or self-help programs. There's no, "Hi, I'm Chuck, and I'm addicted to chowing grey matter." So given the circumstances, it's only fair to warn you of the consequences. You don't want to mess with my delicacies. If someone's cool, shows respect and patience, yeah, I'll share with them. It's not like I don't have a heart, I think. Kind of hard to say at this point, but you get the gist. Don't mess with my brains, and I'll do my best to manage my addiction. It's really quite silly anyway. I can't actually taste anything anymore. Not at all. Frankly, I don't know where the compulsion comes from. I can't taste anything for the most part. I can't feel anything. I consider this a benefit as well. Could be a firm handshake, or could be you just cut my hand off. If I'm daydreaming at all, I would not know the difference. I keep telling the guys in the horde, you gotta pay attention. It's crucial. Do my pleas fall on deaf ears, you ask? Considering the majority of the ears were no longer attached You could say that. I know you might find this detrimental, but let me ask you this. How do you feel right now? I don't get headaches, a sore back, arthritis, hangovers, or any of the things you get all the time. I don't get sleepy or sneezy or any other issues of diminutive stature. I get plenty of fresh air and exercise, and don't worry about stubbing my big toe or the one next to it. I believe I've lost my big toe, but that's beside the point. At this point, I'm sure you're thinking to yourself, this sounds too good to be true. Zombie life sounds like the only way to go. Why on earth would anyone want to keep living as a walker? Oh yeah, we call you guys walkers, because of the way you guys are able to just, walk around and stuff. Most of us can't really do that too well. That being said, the term shufflers is highly offensive, and you may not be looked upon with high regard for using it. If you hear one of us say it, that's different. We can use the word. Within our community, it is seen as a form of unity, and is us taking the hateful power that you walkers gave to it away. You should only refer to us as zombies or the undead. Anyway, I can see that you're ready to turn in your walker status and join the wave of the future. You're ready to join Team Zombie and take your first steps onto the ladder of success. These feelings of excitement are natural. We want you to know that we are just as excited about the prospect of you coming aboard and contributing to the greater success of the enterprise while growing on a personal level. We think that you are zombie material and believe that the one thing that can push us over the top is you. I know, I feel it too. Before you can jump into this exciting endeavor, however, you need to be told about the downsides. I don't want you to walk away from this today, dear listener, having thought that I was some type of snake oil salesman who tried to sell you the happy side of a donkey without revealing its arse. Everything in life has two sides, the sun and the moon, the yin and the yang, the mountain and its reflection in the lake, the most beautiful woman you've ever seen with male genitalia. You need the entire bill of sale before you can make such a monumentous decision. You need to know it's not all team building exercises and seminars on synchronized swaying. There are a few, let's just say, quirks that you may not be thrilled with. The first of which would have to be the permanence of the transition. It is very much that permanent. The actual procedure is quite expedient, and depending on your ability to sustain a number of bites in a short amount of time, can be nearly instantaneous. Of course, there are a few scenarios where the process can take longer, depending on your ability to remain unbitten, or of course, your ability to hack and slash and shoot as well. But these are extreme circumstances which agents rarely encounter in the field and really not worth devoting a lot of time towards. So yeah, permanent. Also, there have been occasional issues with fairly isolated cases of crew members losing various body parts due to extemporaneous deterioration. That being that, we've been able to do some amazing things with duct tape and leather jumpsuits. Are these corporate BS puns doing anything for you, by the way? Another consideration I should mention is the maggots. You really can't feel them, but I've been told by some that they can be an irritation. It's hard to keep them out, and once you get them, well, You know, think grains of sand at the beach. It's a little like that. If you fixate on the critters, you'll start picking, and then you won't be able to stop. I knew a girl named Tasha. She literally picked herself apart. The poor little girl picked and picked until she was half a torso and one arm. Even then she could not stop. Poor sweet Tasha picked and picked until her head and arm fell away. Don't get too upset, please, dear listener. Imagine a sweet young mother of 3 in a pile of separated flesh and limbs. She was able to get rid of all the maggots, which was a tremendous victory for her personally. Also, she was anorexic, and the loss of weight greatly improved her body image. A mutual friend set her up with a guy named Winchester, who was also a severed head. Being an interracial couple, some people had their doubts, but they are still together today, living with his mother and her boyfriend, who we suspect is putting hands on her, which you would think would not be as difficult to prove, given that he's the only one in their household who actually has hands. Not to mention, he's a player. Leroy is a slick one. He's got an excuse for everything. Why are you with that woman, Leroy?
Oh, well, see, she said she knew a guy down the way who had some brains for us, so I was going to see if I could get some brains, because I like you and you like brains. Shucks, I love you. So much love and brains because I'm your man and brains.
Why are you coming out of that woman's bedroom, Leroy?
Yeah, this crazy lady, she said she wanted me to walk her dog, and I said, lady, I ain't walking your dog. I'm gonna eat your dog. And then I was eating her dog, and that's when you saw me, baby. Brains.
There's really no catching him in a lie, and now we don't even try. Screw Leroy. Why did you even bring that punk up? Kind of off the point, wasn't it? So anyway, before I was so rudely interrupted, maggots. They can get in behind your eyeballs. Usually they'll just push your eye forward, making you look in a slightly different direction. I know it might seem like a disability, but I've seen some amazing people overcome this to not live their amazing lives. Sometimes what you focus on is more important than what you see. Worst case scenario would be the maggots pushing out your eye completely. This usually happens in one of 2 ways. First would be a complete exodus from your physical person, giving you a brief glimpse at your face from a slightly different angle for your memory banks. The second version is one in which you keep your eye attached to the optic nerve dangling from your skull. I've been informed that this is not entirely undesirable and provides a different outlook on things. Think GoPro camera. Also, maggots will eat your manhood away. Some reports seem to reflect that this is dissatisfactory. But c'est la vie, I say. Easy come, easy go. Other than the maggots, it's all peaches, cream, and grey matter Sundays. No life is perfect, dear listener, but I think we both know that this is the life for you. It's time for you to stand tall and join the revolution. You will be in the in crowd for once. You can cast aside your inhibitions and start sporting the morgue. You can use that, by the way, if you want to. I'm trying to get it trending. Remember Madonna's Vogue? It's supposed to be like that. I've already gotten the copyright before you get any ideas, scumbag. But again, feel free to use it. You look pretty fly, lady and sir. Thank you. We're morguing. Just put your hands up and morgue. I know, right? Since I can tell you're confident about your decision to go zombie, I've got some good news for you. I know you've been hem-hawing about the way to go. Should I go with a little nibble? Should I hang myself in the closet? If that's confusing, I'll clarify. You already have the zombie virus in your bloodstream, and all you have to do now is die to turn. Yeah, That stupid continuity filter is actually a thing now. Don't blame our apocalypse on Hollywood's lack of originality. Anyway, you need not fret about the particulars of your transition. I've made the experience painless and nearly unnoticeable. A small speck of infected blood mixed with an epidermal absorption chemical dropped onto a small area can be enough to turn a walker. A small area like, say, the left clicker of a mouse. A little drop and keeping someone occupied for just enough time. Enough time for, say, a short story. See you soon.